Dorian,
Here.
Jennifer Eaton,
Here.
Ann LaQueer,
Here,
and
he's in the party.
Jim LaQueer, okay.
Here.
Dalton Wagman,
Present.
and Karen Hill's present. Okay, so this meeting is really just for 3.0. 3.1, discuss the interview process for the agent's position. So we were going to meet. Yes, sir.
Excuse me, Madam Chair and members of the commission. Just so you know, the Division of Open Government website expressly states that during COVID, what you were doing tonight is allowed. It is expressly stated that board and committee members can meet in person and not have the public allowed to be in person so long as they are providing access through other means, by Zoom or teleconference phone. And that is also consistent with the most recent vote of the Board of Selectmen back in June of last year, where they state just that boards and commissions may meet in person, masked, socially distanced, and not the public, so long as they provide Zoom or telephone conference.
Thank you. Did everyone hear that? Maybe
Not really.
Yes.
Jim, is the information available for everybody, for the ones that are gonna,
Mr. Dorian, pull your mask up, please.
I was speaking, that's
No,
why.
that's why you're supposed to be wearing a mask.
Is the,
I was just advised by council because the question's been asked, so I saw guidance that it is on the Secretary of State Division of Open Government's website.
Okay, so that was Mr. Kreidler informing us on the.
Thank you.
Thank you.
thanks, Jim.
On the Secretary of State's website, that boards and committees are allowed to meet in person as long as the public is allowed to meet or join us via Zoom or teleconference or whatever. We're not allowed to have a giant public meeting, but as long as the remainder of the public can join us through Zoom or phone, we're good to go. And that's a selectmen's policy also. All right, so we're back to 3.1, discuss interview process for the agent's position. I know I'm repeating myself. So our original intention was to be able to meet together to interview the person. However, because we discussed the resume, we can't do it without televising it.
Okay.
So I know in the previous meeting, we didn't want to do that. We thought that that was a little weird, wrong, whatever.
Oh, that it was televised?
Yeah.
Okay.
How'd you do that?
So under that scenario, we've got to come up with another way of doing it. So whether it's one of the board members and Mr. Kreidler, two of the board, I don't know. We got to come up with something because I'm not comfortable interviewing someone televised.
Honestly, I don't care either way. I'll do
Okay.
whatever is necessary.
Well, I don't think, in my opinion, I mean, if I was being interviewed, I don't know that
Yeah.
I'd want it to be done in a public manner.
Same. I think that it's up to the applicant.
You
Yeah,
know, I mean, I'm worried that my current boss would see me, but that's my point.
Yeah, no, Dalton had brought that up at the last meeting, and I think that's a valid point. I really think that it's up to the applicant. If the applicant has no problem being on TV, then we can do it. If not, make other arrangements.
Well, so I'd like to come up with a backup plan so that we're all good to go. You know, I don't want to have to come back and revisit this on April 14th.
What
Yeah.
is the other option? Is to meet with the Board of Selectmen?
No, it's to meet with Mr. Kreidler. It's not on Board of Selectmen because then that would be televised.
Okay.
Madam
So then-
Chairman,
Yes?
I feel that the chairman of the Conservation Committee and Mr. Kreidler and Mr. Husty would like to join, I think that would be appropriate and not to display this person to the entire town. I think it could make the person nervous, and I just think it would put a lot of pressure on the person. That's just my personal opinion.
Mr. Chair, Madam Chairman, I'm going to agree with that because you don't put a job interview on public display. That's not what it's all about.
And it's not just the town, it's really the entire world.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't think that's right.
That's an invasion of privacy, because if somebody knows that person or whatever, they can start rumors, and here we go again.
Yeah.
It's not right.
I think Mr. Kreidler has demonstrated enough intelligence and the fact that he has interviewed probably a lot of people in the past. I think he's, without question, qualified. And I think our chairman is certainly qualified also. So
Absolutely.
I think, I think two people interviewing a candidate is probably more than enough. And I would lean in that direction. They would have my support with their decision. I can't speak for the whole board, but as far as I'm concerned, I think that would be a fair and equitable thing to do. So,
Agreed.
I agree also.
that's right.
I'd like to say something if I may.
Absolutely.
So I think probably then for our first candidate, we made an innocent error in bringing her before us. Maybe it was unfair, a lot of pressure coming before the general public to do that. So just looking forward for any potential candidates, not just for agent's position, but other positions, we should be consistent and maybe have it be a private interview so that everybody gets a fair chance. And that being said, if it is the chairwoman and the town administrator who's conducting the interview, maybe it would be fair if we have any questions as commissioners that we can forward them to you, and then perhaps during the interview you would ask.
That's totally appropriate. I think that's perfect because, I probably won't come up with the same questions you guys will. So that's a perfect.
Yeah, sounds reasonable to me.
I actually would like to be at the interview if possible. I'm appointed to the admin position, which is in the same office. I'd be working closely with this person, so I have some questions I'd like to ask the
Well,
applicant.
and in the past, the office being land use and the admin interview. So, because they all have to work together, just like you said. So
I promise I'll keep it short.
that's fine. So that's how we want to do it from this way on.
Jim has been very appropriately listening, but we haven't got his opinion yet. So
Correct.
I'd be interested in.
I'm fine with everything right now.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't know that we need a vote, but I'm gonna make a vote anyway, just to be on the safe side. Put my glasses back on so you can see what I'm doing. So we're going to interview from now on, or actually I shouldn't say from now on, for this agent's position because we're not fully staffed. Once we get fully staffed, and if you leave or however it goes, it'll be different. So it's going to be different for every situation, but for this agent's position at this point in time, correct, that we're going to set up interviews so that Jen and myself, or just Jen and Mr. Kreidler, I really, doesn't matter to me either way, because you're in theory going to be working with them, interview the potential agents. So, can I get a motion for that?
Repeat that again, Karen.
Sure. So my theory is that for this agent's position, that myself, Jen, and Mr. Kreidler will be interviewing potential agents. But just at this point in time, if we come up with, say we need a new admin or we need a new agent, that'll be a whole different time to revisit this process. This isn't setting this process in stone forever, is what I'm getting at.
And the reason for this process is because it can't be televised. Is that what
Correct.
it is?
Yes.
Shouldn't be televised.
And
Well, it could be, but we're not comfortable, I'm not comfortable with it. If we hadn't discussed that person's resume, we could have gone into executive session.
But because in this, so
Excuse me?
basically,
Could you be, what was that?
As we discussed the resume at the last meeting,
Correct.
we can't go into executive session because we already opened it up to the public.
but wasn't it on the agenda?
Not to discuss the resume,
Okay.
so, yeah, I know.
I thought, well, what was it on that? Wasn't it discuss applicant?
It was
or
to discuss how we
position?
were gonna interview
Okay.
and
Okay,
how we were gonna, so,
We put the cart a little ahead of the
Yeah.
horse on this one.
And
Now, moving forward,
this is our only option?
the agenda, I didn't
Yeah.
mean to interrupt you.
for Conservation
it's the only
Commission
one I can come up with.
certificate.
We can't go to executive session anymore, and that's what we would wanna do is executive session, in my opinion.
I have a question.
Yes,
By what formal mechanism will we hear back what you, Jennifer, and the town administrator think about this candidate?
oh, that's a very good question.
Suppose it doesn't go very well, or suppose it's like, wow, this is the best candidate we've had in years.
I could send an email out to everyone and say, this person interviewed pretty well, you know, I think this is a person that we should be recommending to the Board of Selectmen, and that's then what I have to do is write a letter to the Board of Selectmen recommending that they appoint said person for our agent's position. Just like I did with Jen.
And for future reference, will we be able to vote on other matters in regards to other candidates for other positions? Like, for example, next time, maybe I would like to be there and sit in on an interview.
Right?
That's not usually our process. Usually the process would be, and that the staff upstairs would interview or the town administrator. It's never been the commission, ever. The commission's never, and usually I've been on one interview process with, I think it was a land use coordinator, I don't know, a long time ago. Just because I was on land use. So we try to tie in a few people from land use. Usually it's the chair and a commissioner. So we don't intimidate. I mean, for 7 of us to go to an interview, that's a lot of people. That's kind of intimidating. You know.
Well, I do think it's important that everybody gets to bring their questions.
Absolutely.
The agent plays a very important role
Absolutely.
in this group.
No, I get that.
So.
And
I
I
think-
welcome questions. I really do, because again, you
Can I
guys
ask
all
you a
have different questions.
I understand where the process is going. I don't think that we should put it to an open televised. That's not a standard operating procedure in any
No,
that I know of.
Well,
Hang
if
on a
we
minute,
didn't-
for a
if we
minute.
didn't have COVID, that
Can I
would be.
finish?
Yes.
Can I finish? She interrupted me and you're doing this.
I know.
I just want to be able to follow through. I haven't been saying much about this. I respect how we're going to move forward with this process, okay? The chairman, crucial, okay? And that you hold the position, so that has to be in full view. Now, when you take and choose her as a commissioner to go on, beyond asking any other commissioner, I
Right.
have a small issue with that. And not that I'm pressing it, not that I want to interview it. I think it should stick to a small parameter at this point in time until we get it in stone, how we're going to move forward with this procedure of bringing forward a new agent or whatever the case may be. We've gone through this a lot. We've lost a lot of agents. That's why I was adamant that I wanted to have some degree of field with this individual that's going to be brought forward to us as the commissioners and how well that job is going to get performed so that we can be best informed, so we can move through with these meetings. You know what it's like not to have an agent more than anyone. So you understand the importance of this. We got to get into a standard operating procedure. And I think it's important, we as the commissioners, as a group, or it's just going to maintain as a selectman and the chair to do this interview in all fairness, whether she holds that position upstairs or not. Okay, I've seen it for almost 13 years now. I've seen a lot of different people come and go. I could go backwards or I could go forwards with it. Exactly, moot point. It's important we get this down and we get it right. And we take the time to really get every degree of perspective on this person we're bringing forward was as the agent. You know as well as I do, you have seen it for as much as I have, and I've seen it even more than you have. Okay, I'm good, thank you.
You good, Jim? Because I'd like to say something. I'd just like to push back on what you're saying.
I don't need any pushback on
Okay.
anything.
Well, no,
No,
wait a
hang on.
minute.
I just wanted to make my point clear. And you don't have to put it into a category of
Okay.
pushback. You can put it into.
As the conservation administrator, I will be working closely with the applicant. I will do an excellent job of asking questions to the applicant. No need to worry about that.
Never questioned
If I
it.
could,
Never questioned. I had no question of it. I just made a point of you stand as a commissioner. No
I'm not
more than-
standing as a commissioner in that interview, not at all.
Okay. I made my point, and I didn't want to have to get into a rebuttal of it. That's all. I'm fine with it.
I'm allowed to say
Yes,
my
okay.
perspective. You said you welcome perspectives. I'm giving my perspective.
if I could.
John, please.
That was going to be, what I was about to say, is that it's not going to the interview as a commissioner. She's going as someone that's working up in the office. And with that said, I think her position certainly supersedes me as vice chair. I mean, after all, she's going to be working with this person, and I think it's only fair that she goes to this thing with our chairman. He's certainly an intelligent person, and I think she'll do a fine
I
job.
think the person who does this.
Certainly
should
not
have more-
something that I need
more
as
experience.
vice chair. I mean, no, there was no one there, and they wanted me to, that would be fine, but I just think two people and Mr. Kreidler is more than enough. We don't need to overwhelm this person with
No.
a whole bunch of people, that's
No.
all. But I understand where Jen's coming from, and I respect that. I think it's great. I think it's the way to go.
And again, I welcome everybody to throw questions at us that, you know, because that's gonna be super helpful, because again, you're all gonna come up with things that I'm not gonna come up with.
I really think that people should bring forth any questions, and as we deliver them to the applicant, we should say who they're from, so they know the person that they're coming from, and almost like they have a presence there
Sure.
without being there.
Hmm. I'm a little wishy on that one. And
Mhm.
Yes,
think that'd
it is Ann. And, whoops, are you there? Did I lose you?
I think her phone fell off where she had it tilted up on.
Is everybody there?
Yeah, I'm here. I think everybody else is here. She'll be back up in a minute.
Are we?
Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry, Ann.
That's okay. Tell me when it's okay to talk.
It's okay. So much for my
Alright.
tape.
My comment is that Jen is new to the Conservation Commission. I don't have, and I feel that whoever does this interview with the chair and James Kreidler should have more experience. I feel it should be an experienced person who does the interview. Nothing against Jen, but she doesn't have the experience. You have people on the board, on the commission, that have years of experience, have worked with many agents. That's just my opinion. But I tend to agree with Jim DeLorean.
Yeah, I'm gonna go that route myself.
She has experience enough to be the administrator. Are you suggesting that she's not qualified to hold that position?
No, that's not what I said, Dalton. That's not at all what I said. I feel I would like someone who has more experience in the field, such as Karen or John or Jim. I'm not even talking about Jim and I. And we've been on the board. I'm talking
Can you-
about the people who have the most experience. That's my opinion, and I am entitled to it.
Yes, and I've been volunteering to the town for 18 years now, and I agree with that myself. It needs the exposure of experience to be able to assist in picking the proper person.
Okay, so I'm guessing you guys can't see us, is that correct?
We can't see you now, no.
But can you hear us? Obviously
Yes.
you can. Okay,
Yep.
well, we're good then. I don't know what happened. My phone fell off the wall and I can't read my stupid phone.
That's all right. We can hear.
It says it's in safe driving mode. I don't know why.
Well, you're driving the meeting.
Yeah, okay, great. So much for that. Technology.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, well. As long as they can hear us, I guess.
So I don't know where we're at now. I really, I personally feel that Jen, because she's gonna be working with said person, again, Mr. Kreidler, I'm sure he's interviewed millions of people. And that's at least, 99,000 more than I've interviewed. So, honestly, I'd be happy with Mr. Kreidler just interviewing the person. Less for me to do, but,
I would be comfortable with Jen or anyone as long as we stay focused on the outcome of where we're going with this agent's position.
okay,
Okay?
okay.
Simple as that.
That's
Experience, new, not experienced. If we as commissioners, we all stay on the same page. We pay attention to what and who is doing the interview, and the feedback is good, and the person seems solid, and we've got good continuity with them, and it looks good. I'm all in favor. Jen, I hope you don't think that I was not wanting you to interview because of the time that you have vested or that you are working with him or her that are coming on board with us. There's only one small one I'm looking at. That the person that we bring on board is going to click with us, and it's going to work for us. And it's going to be somebody that, and we can only hope for these things, Karen. Everybody knows this, that it's going to be a person that we can have some longevity with. The person really understands and finds that care and love for the town of Townsend. Don't get me wrong. And we have a good match, a good connection with the person, and we can go forward and not have what we're dealing with right now is a commission, because it's not working well. And we understand why. It's not a mystery. Okay, that's my only concern. And I have no doubt in the least you would not do an eloquent job, and that you should be involved with it, because you're going to be the one that's going to be acclimating with him or her the most in working with that person. So what common sense draws me to say, truly, Jennifer should be another one of the particular individuals up there interviewing. My only concern is if, in the regards, if you pick a commissioner, it doesn't seem to be fair to all other commissioners to exclude them and say, we're only going to pick one. But you have more, and I understand this. She has a more of a unique overview of it. So it's not that she doesn't go with my blessing. Once again, the bottom line, we thought we had a really great agent there for a while, and it was good. And as well, John saw it, a lot of the old battle scars of it. So that's all that matters. And I hope to you and all of us, Jim, this is that we have a good agent, a good solid agent. That'll keep going with us.
Yeah, all we can do is.
All we can hope.
and
You know,
Knock on wood.
You never know, but
Mhm. I hope that cleared some of anything for you, Jennifer. You seem a little anxious to wanna tell me something, to say
I
something,
do,
but
I do want
I
to say
have
something.
no sense of objection to you moving forward in that process.
Okay,
God only knows.
Neither do we.
Character that should be doing it.
I do want to say something.
That was a nice light, wasn't it?
For the last week, or since we've gotten this agenda, we agreed to meet with the applicant. I have been researching tirelessly what qualifications are necessary for an agent. I learned a lot in the last week. Not only that, but I have 25 years experience of working with people. I know what person fits into a group, and I know people's personalities. I can work, I can work with anybody. The most difficult of people, I've been able to find common ground with, and I know how they fit into a rotation with others.
excellent. Do we need to make a motion?
yes.
Excuse
And so,
excuse me?
anyway. So, yes, so. The
Am I
motion,
on?
they can hear us, they
Okay.
can't see us. So
No, we can hear you.
I have no idea why it says I'm in safe driving mode.
You gotta go into settings and turn that off.
Well, I don't even know how it turned on. I never used it.
It fell.
I never used it. So anyway,
Fell off the wall.
yeah.
Oh,
I wish I could fall off the wall. So I need a motion to, I guess, allow the chair and the new admin assistant, admin administrator,
Right.
and the town administrator to interview in the people for the agent's position.
So moved.
Oh,
Seconded.
second. Thank you. That was Dalton. Okay, so John Hussey, you in favor of this?
I am.
Jim DeRoy, you in
Yes.
favor of this? Jim LaQueer, you in favor of this?
Yes.
Ann LaQueer, you in favor of this?
Yes,
Dalton Wagman, you in favor of this?
Yes.
Jennifer Eatman, you in favor of this?
Yes.
I'm just wondering if you should abstain.
I can abstain.
I think you should probably abstain.
Okay.
Mm,
Just be on the safe side.
And you have to also.
I think, sure, I will anyway, so I will abstain, Karen Hill.
Think not necessary either one of the two.
I don't, but I'm gonna be on the safe side, so. That having been said,
So we have 5 people that voted
Right,
Yeah.
we're still,
and
We're
2
good.
abstained, so even.
yep. Well, that being said, we're at 8.0.
oh, make a motion to adjourn.
Seconded.
At 7:29. That was Ann LaQueer, and Jim, you seconded?
Yes.
Wait a minute, I gotta catch up with my brain here. Okay, John Hussey, you in favor of
I
this?
am.
Jim DeRoy, you in favor of this?
yes.
Jim LaQueer, you in favor of this?
Yes.
Ann LaQueer, you in favor of this?
Yes,
Dalton Wagman, you in favor of this?
Yes.
Jennifer Eaton, you in favor of this?
Yes.
And I, Karen Hill, am in favor of this. There we go.
Excellent.
Thank you very much.
Have a nice
Have a
weekend.
good night,
Thank you.
and it was good to see everybody. Even though my phone fell off the wall and.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
Good night, all.